When the CEO's wife saw me tear up all my documents, getting ready to go all out against her family's huge corporate group, she finally realized she could no longer control me, her husband. But when she saw the divorce agreement I handed her, she was completely dumbfounded. It said I was leaving the marriage with absolutely nothing, and even giving up custody of our son. Our marriage has been dead in name for ages, and I don't want to keep it going anymore. Signing it is good for both of us. You and your mom both want Jang Jingren as your son-in-law. I'm making space for him exactly. With that, I left this so-called home that was just a cage. I thought the woman would be reasonable and sign the divorce agreement, but I never expected she'd tear it to pieces again. I was raised by the Su family to be their son-in-law since I was little. I married Su Qingwan when I was 20. We had our son Gunyanshin when I was 22. Our son takes after Su Qingwan a lot. He's always quiet and doesn't talk much. He never gets close to me on his own. Last night he came to talk to me on his own for the first time. Dad, Uncle Jung is sick and dying. His wish is to marry Mom. Will you divorce Mom, please? At that moment, I completely lost all hope for this mother and son. Fine, let's get divorced then. When we were eating breakfast, I handed the divorce agreement to Su Qingwan on my own. What our son said, I thought about it all night. Since he likes Jung Jingran so much, I will also give up custody of our son at the same time and leave the marriage with nothing. All the property that originally belonged to the couple. You can put it under our son's name. Consider it my child support for him. Su Qingwan put down her coffee and looked up. Were you talking to me just now? I looked at the Bluetooth earpiece on her ear and realized she didn't hear a single word I just said. A strong sense of powerlessness welled up in my heart. Every time I talk to her, this is always the kind of disregard I get. I flipped the divorce agreement straight away to the last page and handed it to her. Sign it. It won't take you more than a few minutes. Su Jingwan frowned and glanced at me and was just about to open it to read. Our son ran over. Mom, are you going to play billiards with Uncle Jang later? I want to go too. Seeing Su Qingwan stand up, I grabbed her wrist all at once. Sign first. Su Jingwan finally turned her head to look at me. She didn't expect I could be this tough. Our son next to us was still urging. Hurry up, Mom. If we make Uncle Jang wait too long, he'll get mad again and make you kiss him as punishment. Fine then, I'll do you this favor. The next second, Su Qingwan didn't even look at the content and picked up the pen to sign her name. The mother and son walked away quickly. I didn't look at them again. I held the pen and right next to her signature, I wrote down my own name. The only times my name has appeared next to Su Qingwan's in this life. The first time was on our marriage certificate, and the second time is right here. My hand was still trembling slightly after I signed. I closed the divorce agreement and sent it to the lawyer I had already contacted earlier. Then I went upstairs to pack my things. The closet was full of clothes, and not a single one was something I liked. No one knows that before I turned 16. I loved laughing loudly and openly. I loved bungee jumping and street racing. But ever since I married Su Qingwan, I was taught to follow all the rules. I had to be humble and gentle, because all the Su family needed was a qualified Mr. Gu. But even when I acted like that, all I got was mockery from Su Qingwan's friends. They said I was a fake person, and thought Jiang Jingren was a better match for Su Qingwan. Thinking about all this, and looking at all these clothes that belonged to Mr. Gu, I suddenly felt an indescribable wave of nausea. I couldn't help rushing to the bathroom to throw up. I took a while to calm down, before I lifted my face and looked at myself in the mirror. I suddenly thought getting a divorce was the best decision ever. I don't want to keep living in this cage. I want to break out of this cage and be my true self again. So I called my buddy to come pick me up. The Su family's place isn't my home, and the Gu family, ever since I married Su Qingwan, has paid no attention to me at all after our wedding. It isn't my home either. My buddy showed up at the door soon, looking super confused. How come you have time to hang out with me? It's your birthday today. Didn't you say you'd spend it with your wife and kid a week ago? I froze for a second. I pulled out my phone and opened my chat history, only to find I did book a birthday restaurant a week ago, and even sent a date invitation message to Su Qingwan. But up until now, she hasn't replied to me at all. I would have felt upset about this before, but now I'm already numb to it. I got in the car as I thought that, went to the birthday restaurant with my buddy. But when we walked in and gave the birthday reservation number, the restaurant manager awkwardly offered to issue us a refund. Sir, the whole restaurant is booked out by Mr. Su today. He and the young master are celebrating Mr. Gu's birthday here. We'll double compensate you for your previous reservation deposit. No need for the refund. The man standing right in front of you is him. But when we walked towards the center of the hall, happy laughter from a family of 3 drifted over not far away. I saw Su Qingguan with Gun Yanchen, wishing Zhang Jingren a happy birthday. Wish you peace and all the best. Wish Uncle Zhang all your wishes come true. Marry my mom and be my dad. I watched the 3 of them send birthday wishes, then sit down happily. I saw Su Qingguan's eyes, never left Zhang Jingren the whole time. And I also saw my son Gun Yanchen thoughtfully pull out a chair for Zhang Jingren, pour tea for him, and adjust his clothes. We've been married for 5 years. Su Qingguan doesn't even know when my birthday is, let alone wish me a happy birthday. And my own son has never even poured me a glass of water. My buddy couldn't stand it anymore. He was going to rush over to get justice for me, but I held him back. No need. I already signed the divorce agreement with Su Qingguan. My buddy took me straight to his place. I didn't cry, but he hugged me and cried. Su Qingguan is a wicked woman. Gun Yanchen is an ungrateful brat. Calm down. How can you call Gun Yanchen ungrateful? You've been waiting on them hand and foot 24/7 for 5 years. No job, no social life. I finally managed to ask you out to hang out. And one call from Su Qingguan, you'd get all happy like a little kid and rush home to make her hangover soup. When your son was fussy during weaning, you stayed up baking for nights on end. You poured your heart out and got betrayed in return. I know you must be hurting right now. Just cry if you want to. Listening to my buddy's rant, I tilted my head back and took a sip of beer and leaned back on the couch. I can't cry right now, but I've cried so many times before. When Mrs. Su forced me to learn all those etiquette rules, when I opened up to Su Qingguan and got ignored, when I waited for Su Qingguan till 12 on a snowy night, and she never showed up. I used to naively hope for when Gun Yanchen had a fever in the middle of the night, and I called Su Qingguan only to get hung up on. I used to naively hope for a loving marriage and a loving father-son relationship, but they never saw any of my efforts. It's been 5 years. I should have woken up a long time ago. I passed out after getting drunk. Early the next morning, I suddenly got a call from Su Qingguan. She sounded like she just woke up. Her voice was hoarse. Where's the necklace I wore on Monday? It's in the first drawer of the closet. Ah, what about the matching earrings? In the drawer right under the one with the necklace. After this back and forth, I finally realized that we're getting divorced soon. I don't have to do this kind of stuff anymore. I thought about it and reminded her nicely. You should ask the nanny to reorganize your closet. You can ask her if you can't find anything later. We're getting divorced soon. It's not appropriate for you to call me to ask where things are. After I finished, I heard Su Qingguan hum softly. The sound of a drawer opening came from the other end of the line. I thought I had made everything clear, and was about to hang up when I heard Su Qingguan giving orders again. Make seafood porridge every noon these days, and deliver it to the CEO office of Su's group. Then she hung up straight away. Looks like everything I said about the divorce went in one ear and out the other again. I took a deep breath. My fingertips were shaking with anger, and blocked Su Qingguan right away. After thinking for a second, I also blocked Gun Yanchen's kindergarten teacher's number, but I forgot to block Mrs. Su. So after I got enough sleep and got ready to go out for lunch, she stopped me and forced me into her car. She threw a stack of photos right in my face. All of them were intimate photos of Su Qingguan and Zhang Jingran. You've disappointed me so much. Ever since you were 16, I've trained you personally. It's been 10 years. How can you still not hold on to your wife's heart? If I knew you were this useless. Humph. I never would have looked down on Zhang Jingren for being an illegitimate child back then. The sharp edge of the photos cut a scratch on my neck. When the Su family picked me as their future son-in-law, lots of my friends envied me for my good luck. But the price was that I lost all my freedom when I turned 16. My whole life was just about being Mr. Gu. I was so stressed I could barely breathe. I deliberately rebelled and dated early in my senior year of high school. I even made a scene in front of Su Qingguan. I thought she would call off the engagement, but she didn't say a single word. Su Qingguan and I were only married for 5 years, but I've been manipulated for a whole decade. I've had enough. Su Qingguan and I have already signed the divorce agreement. I didn't fight for custody. I left the marriage with nothing. If you're not satisfied, you can find a more suitable son-in-law. Right after I said that, I opened the door and got out of the car. Su Qingguan's mom froze for a second, then immediately flew into a rage and grabbed my wrist. Guyanzi, how dare you? Her sharp, bright red, painted nails dug right into my skin. It stung like hell, but I just laughed. There's nothing I don't dare do. Being the son-in-law of the Su family was never an honor for me. I rolled up my sleeve and showed an outsider for the first time the old crisscrossed scars on my wrist. When Su Xingwan's mom saw the twisted, centip-like scars, she was so shocked that she let go. I never wanted to be Mr. Gu at all. Do you know what I've yelled every single time? In my dreams over the past 10 years. I was screaming. Can someone please save me? But now I realize the only person who can save me is myself. Only when I can be my true self freely. Can I truly live? I said all that calmly, then opened the door and got out this time. Su Xingwan's mom didn't stop me again, but the suffocating weight in my chest wouldn't go away. I had to let it all out. So I took out my dusty, bright red supercar, hit the gas and drove off. But Su Xingwan must be bad luck for me. I was passing through an intersection when I crashed head-on into a Maybach. Its license plate was 5/8. It was Su Qingwan's car. The person who quickly got out of the other car was Su Qingwan's assistant. The assistant froze for a second when she saw me. Mr. Gu? I wasn't surprised by her shock. We've been married for 5 years. Everyone around Su Qingwan had long had a very fixed stereotype of me. The idea of me street racing would obviously catch people off guard. I didn't explain anything, just handed over a business card and told them to send me the compensation bill. After that, I put on my sunglasses, hit the gas, and left. The assistant quickly got back in the Maybach and told Su Qingwan, President Su, the driver of the other car is Mr. Gyoi. Su Xingwan pinched the bridge of her nose and said calmly and indifferently, Let's go. It was as if the driver of the other car was her husband or a total stranger. It made no difference to her. The assistant got the hint and didn't ask any more questions. But no one expected that 3 hours later, the couple would run into each other again. Su Xingwan went to the suburban racetrack to meet a business partner and sign a land development agreement. A car race was going on there. A red sports car won first place with an absolutely thrilling and adrenaline-fueled performance. The racer got out of the car. He was wearing a tight, dark red racing suit with a tall, lean figure. He was so eye-catching that no one could look away. Even Su Qingwan, visibly, showed a look of surprise and admiration until the racer took off his helmet and showed his face. The assistant gasped in amazement. Mr. Gu is actually so good at racing. Ah! Su Xingwan didn't respond. She just saw the adoring looks all the women around were giving. That tall, striking figure, and frowned slightly. When I noticed Su Qingwan looking at me, I didn't look up to greet her. Over the years, except for fancy high society banquets, she would usually pretend she didn't know me when we ran into each other. So when the out-of-town race organizer introduced me to Su Qingwan, I pretended I didn't know her either. President Su, I've heard so much about you. Su Xingwan still kept a straight face. The atmosphere was awkward for a moment, until Jiang Jingren's voice rang out. Hi everyone, Su Qingwan. Are you done yet? If you are, let's go back to the company for dinner. I turned around and saw Jiang Jingren get out of the Maybach, walked over and put his arm around Su Qingwan's waist like no one else was there. Jiang Jingren probably didn't think I was worthy of being his rival in love, and even smiled at me. After they walked away, someone sighed and said, President Su even brought Mr. Jiang with her to work. Wow, they have such a great relationship. Su Xingwan's assistant hadn't left yet, and looked at me with a weird expression after hearing that. I bet she was thinking to herself, how could there be such a useless man? I didn't say anything, and left the racetrack too. First thing I did was call my lawyer. How soon I could get the divorce certificate. We need to wait 7 days. 7 more days. No big deal, I've put up with it for 10 years already. I can definitely wait 7 more days. But right after I calmed myself down, I got a call from Su Qingwan's assistant. When will the seafood kanji be delivered? Also, young Master Nianshin's teacher said they couldn't reach you on the phone. The young master's handmade craft assignment wasn't submitted. Would you be able to drop it off? I remembered right before Gu Nianshin told me to divorce his mom. I was on a video call, making that craft assignment for him stitch by stitch. Before I left home, I was only halfway done with that craft. I stared at the free-floating clouds in the sky and said calmly, Tell Su Qingwan, there's no more seafood kanji, and I'm not delivering anything ever again. Also, anything related to Gu Nianshin, I'm not handling it anymore. And don't contact me again. After that, I blocked the assistant's number too. Meanwhile, at Su Group, the assistant held his phone looking totally awkward. President Mr. Gu hung up on me. I couldn't get through when I called again. Looks like he blocked me. Maybe you can try calling him. Su Jingwan took out her phone, which was rare for her, scrolled to the contact saved as husband, and sent a message. What's your problem? The next second, a red deletion alert popped up in the chat. This user has enabled friend verification. You are not his friend yet. Please send a friend request first. You can chat after he accepts your request. The assistant saw the chat record on Su Jingwan's phone screen. The earliest message was already a week old. Oh, I didn't know Mr. Gu's birthday is the same as Mr. Jingren's. So yesterday was Mr. Gu's birthday too. President, didn't you get him a birthday gift? Didn't notice. The assistant wasn't surprised by this answer. After all, there were tons of messages in the chat, and Su Jingwan never replied to any of them. But then he heard Su Jingwan order. Get him a belated birthday gift. Just pick whatever you think works. Okay, President. Right after the assistant spoke, before he even took out his phone to pick a gift, he saw Su Jingwan had already started looking through documents. He sighed, quietly left the office. To pick a gift as soon as possible. In the evening, I received a birthday gift, delivered by Su Jingwan's assistant. Sir, this is the belated birthday gift from President Su. It was really nice, actually, but I turned it down. I have no clue what Su Jingwan is trying to do. My birthday's already over. What's the point of a gift now? Besides, for the past 10 years, I've only had one birthday wish: freedom. Su Jingwan divorcing me is basically granting that wish by accident. I thought during these 7 days waiting for the divorce certificate, we wouldn't have any contact with each other. But after the assistant who delivered the gift left, I got a message from Su Qingwan's mom. Gu Yanxi, I don't care if you divorce Qingwan, but before your divorce is finalized, my grandson can't be affected in any way. How would Gu Nianshan be affected? He's the one who asked me to divorce his mom in the first place. Before I could reply, more texts from Mother Su popped up one after another. If you don't want any trouble with your divorce, you have to come to the old home as usual this weekend to spend time with my grandson. Su Jingwan doesn't like crowded places. After we got married, she and I moved out of the Su family's old home and moved into our wedding villa. After she gave birth to Gu Nianshan, we took the kid to the old home every weekend without fail. Today happens to be Friday. Normally I'm the one who picks Gu Nianshan up from kindergarten and takes him to the old home. Su Jingwan is super busy. She usually doesn't get home before 10 p.m. This time I went straight to the old home. I didn't expect when I arrived. Su Jingwan was already there too. I ignored her completely and headed for the second floor. But Su Jingwan blocked my way and asked out of nowhere, "Did you like the birthday gift?" I looked at her confused. Did she not know I turned down the gift? But that wasn't surprising. She treats me like I'm invisible. Why would she care if I accepted the gift or not? I didn't want to talk to her, so I just nodded perfunctorily. But I didn't expect to hear her say next, "Nianshan is carving a safety amulet for Jinggrun. Go upstairs and help him finish it." What? So there's a catch to accepting that birthday gift. I deliberately knocked Su Qingwan out of the way and went upstairs without saying a word. Su Qingwan frowned, but didn't say anything. I reached the second floor. Gu Nianshan is sitting at the desk, holding a carving knife, fully focused on carving. I walked over to him, only to see there was already a finished safety amulet in front of him. He was copying it step by step carefully. My footsteps probably disturbed Gu Nianshan. He looked up at me, but the next second, he quickly grabbed the finished safety amulet on the table. "Dad, this safety amulet was carved by Mom for Uncle Zhang. You can't steal it." I felt a sharp pain in my chest. The kid I once cherished more than my own life was treating me like a thief. With a face that looks exactly like Gu Nianshan and Su Qingwan's, I suddenly could not hold back the suffocating feeling. "You don't have to guard against me like this. I never wanted anything that belongs to others. Besides, your mom and I are getting divorced soon. Your Uncle Zhang will be your new dad very soon. Gu Yanxi, how can you talk nonsense to a kid like that? Are you even a qualified father?" This is probably the longest sentence Su Jingwan has ever said to me. I turned around. I looked at Su Jingwan's cold face and smiled softly. "Yeah, I'm not qualified." "Then go find him a qualified new father." Right after I spoke, I walked toward the door when I heard Gu Yanxi. Su Jingwan walked up and grabbed my hand. Her low voice carried a hidden warning. But right then, Gu Nianshan's smart watch phone rang. He urged cheerfully, Mom, it's Uncle John calling on video. The next second, Su Ching-wan let go of me. I watched her walk over to answer the call. The cold look on her face was instantly replaced by a smile. I suddenly felt this was all so pointless. I went back to the guest bedroom without saying a word. I closed the door and locked it. The room was freezing. It's obviously June, but I felt like I was lying in a coffin, buried in the cold, shady ground. But at the same time, I felt a familiar sense of peace. Ever since I handed the divorce agreement to Su Ching-wan, I've been ready to fight till the end, no matter the cost. I had very messy dreams that night. But the next day, my internal clock still woke me up at 5 a.m. Back then, at this time, I had to get up to make breakfast for Su Ching-wan and our son. I rubbed the space between my brows, thinking of Mother Sue's threats. I still got up and went downstairs. But when I got downstairs, I found out Su Ching-wan and Gu Nianchen had left home early. They said they made plans with Jiang Jingren to watch the sunrise. I found this pretty ridiculous. Anyone with eyes can see. Gu Nianchen doesn't need me as his dad at all. But Mother Sue insisted I go back to the old house and stay through the whole weekend. My buddy immediately asked me to go check out girls at the art school, saying he'd help me get rid of my bad mood. The 18-year-old girls there were really good at cheering people up. They called me Big Brother in sweet voices. They really knew how to make people feel good. After hanging out at the art school for a few days, my mood really got a lot better. My buddy didn't even want to leave. See? I showed you how great these younger girls are. You think that Su Ching-wan, that old woman, isn't worth loving anymore, right? I don't love her anymore. My buddy got more and more excited as he talked. Now that's the spirit. Hey, if you ask me, you should have gotten divorced a long time ago. Literally anyone is more caring than that cold, heartless Su Ching-wan. Just pick a sweet, obedient young girl to date and marry. Life would be so damn good. I was smiling and about to agree when a cough sounded from behind me. I turned around and saw Su Ching-wan and her assistant standing not far away. I pretended I didn't see her, grabbed my buddy and was about to leave. I thought Su Ching-wan wouldn't care about this little episode either.